Hey everybody, are you ready? What up, people? Here we go. Good damn morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hump. Oh, wait. Is it hump day? Is this day Wednesday? What the hell day is it? Yeah, it's Wednesday. Hump day! Let me turn this music down. How y'all doing? Happy Wednesday hump day on the Morning Night Live. We're It's funny. It's like it might be a little Groundhog's Day today for you if you were here yesterday, because a lot of the stuff today is about Biden and about Trump, but for different reasons. And it's funny that this judge in New York handed down a ruling on this case that Letitia James, I said that wrong on purpose, put against Trump, and it's ridiculous. It's insane. And I, as someone who was in real estate lending for a long time, and I knew a lot, learned a lot about, residential commercial real estate. This judge is nuts. And it's clearly an attack on one person. And it's embarrassing for this nation what this man has done. We'll get into that and a whole lot more after the intro. Johnny, can you stop that music, please? Thank you. It was giving me a headache. I love it, though. It's nice, some nice beats in there. Anyway, Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Hell to the Yizzo. I don't know what that means. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where I got to find some different news. I have to find stories for tonight, too. By the way, just a reminder, I'm going to be on the AAA tonight with the Silent Sin, a.k.a. Sinatra, and Drunken Uncle. And that's going to be on my channel, so you guys should be able to find it easily. But I'm kind of concerned if other people are going to be able to find it. I should probably set up that stream now so they can start sending out links to people, because it's normally Polly and Sinatra and Drunkle, and then last week it was Scribe, and this week it's me, and I people don't even know the hell I am, so they're getting to though. Plus, tomorrow we're going to do the 2,000 subscriber special. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably do goofy stories, because the real news is starting to get into my head. I worry about the state of our country and just the stupid nonsense that they're doing. And anyway, I'll figure it out. But let's say hi to everybody. But first, before I say hi, like I normally do, again, Tall Person, first sponsor of the day, dropping a deuce in the tip jar, which I will gladly clean up. Today is National Chocolate Milk Day. Wait a minute. I loves me some chocolate milk. Let's see. Chocolate Milk Day. And I don't know who comes up with these days, but yes, National Chocolate Milk Day. I'm going to actually put and then why Kroger's brand, it has a huge cult following. I'm going to put that in the links today. Let's put that in the links. Let's see, where am I at here? That way I can keep track of where my notifications are. It is National Chocolate Milk Day. I don't know why you need a day specifically for chocolate milk, but here you go. Kroger's chocolate milk has a huge cult following. We figured out why. Oh, I see. They taste tested a bunch of different chocolate milks. National Chocolate Milk Day falls on September 27th every year, but every day is Chocolate Milk Day. For me, back when we were kids, we enjoyed the tasty treat out of those mini cartons almost every afternoon at school. Yeah, okay, in the chat, if you are, well, I don't know. It doesn't matter what age you are. When you had a choice at lunch at school, if you bought a school lunch or whatever, and did you have a choice between chocolate milk and white milk? And almost nobody took the regular milk. And I got to say, that's probably a little, No, it's not racist. It's just people like chocolate milk. Anyway, apparently Kroger, which is a food store chain in the United States, has great chocolate milk. They did a taste test with these particular peoples here. I don't know. I was always Robert's Dairy in Omaha, Nebraska made really good chocolate milk. And what's the other one? There's one here. I can't think of which company it is, but makes really good chocolate milk. So anyway, if you like chocolate milk, happy Chocolate Milk Day. Thank you, tall person, for pointing that out to me. Tall person, the keeper of the daily holidays, greatly appreciate your patronage. All right, so let's say hi to everybody and get it going. First in the chat over on Rumble is, of course, Avocados Diablo, who gets the bell. Also, good morning to Jimmy Das Hotep Nation. Hello to Tall Person, and that's it. That's all the people who've shown their faces on Rumble, or at least shown their audacity to be in the chat. There's a few other people there. Thank you for watching. I'm glad you are here. Over on YouTube, first in the chat again is Avocados Diablo, who gets the bell. And AD, I got a feeling Kara Soldier is going to give you a run for your money one of these days. Smacked right in the chat, right behind you, and literally that close. It wasn't that close. It was close, but that's 2 days in a row. Kara Soldier's number 2, and you know what? Everyone's number 1 in my eyes, because, DEI. Anyway, good morning also to Tall Person. JB's in the house. Jimmy Das Hotep Nation. Also, good morning to my brother Trippy Liberty. What's up, man? Good morning to also Old Grouchy Gamer. Oh my gosh, making a rare appearance, but always appreciated to have you here. My friend from down under Rock Hoppers in the house. G'day, P-Dog, and the nightly chat. Yes. Also, good morning to my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony. Selected boys in the house. Good morning, Reaction a Puerto Rico, you lovely island. Good morning, sir. Good morning also to the Grand Inquisitor, Mr. Tyle Alexander. Good morning, sir. How you doing? Good morning, Simon Wolfwood, Suzanne Eckstein. Welcome back. Also, good morning to Those Ain't Real Dude. And, I skipped down a little bit. Somnambul Nation's in the house. What up? Good morning. Is that Sheagrath, another one making a rare appearance. Love to see you here, brother. Who drank, he always took the orange juice. Now, when I was in elementary school, you didn't have a choice of orange juice. Now, I know at my son's school, for example, you could get, I think you could choose milk, orange juice, apple juice, chocolate milk. They had all kinds of choice. But they also had, my son's a lot younger than me. When they started putting almost these like kiosk type things in there where you could buy Gatorade and all this other crap. But then it was weird because I think right around his junior year, they took all of that out. And you had milk, chocolate milk, or you could get a bottle of water. They took out all the other choices for some reason, and I don't know if they put them back ever. But anyway, that's interesting. Also, good morning to Shrapnel's in the house. Did I say Somnambul Nation? I think I did. Good morning. Also, Black Hebrew Israelite. Wait, what? Where are you at? Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Oh, I was getting nervous maybe that you were going to do it. Good morning, Woodcutter. How you doing? And Rachel Madhouse Dildo, who says, I'm back. That is way too much information. So, any of you who, if you haven't been here since Rachel Madhouse Dildo has been here, well, Okay. And Cryptic's in the house over on Rumble. Welcome with the booty shoes, which I have no idea what that means. We also have another donation, our first Streamlabs donation, and that makes Jimmy Das Hotep
You are
the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. I gotta add some music to that too, but you get a bell for it, so that's cool. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, putting a big bullet in the tip jar, aka a 556. And it says, like and share, show up tonight for support, Hotep and Build. Straight up. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep. Appreciate you, brother. Again, that's at 5:30 Eastern time on my channel. We'll be doing the AAA show, and that's always fun. I got to set it up, though. I haven't set it up in my OBS yet, so I'm going to do that today to make sure that it is a proper show. Although I don't know how they do if you ever watch that show, I'm not sure how they do the little icon changes. I'll figure that out today. All right, Geograph. So 36 years you splitting from. What does that mean? I see cheese. What does Geograph say that? And a happy face. Geograph didn't say anything like that. Oh, today is also the anniversary of me avoiding the coat hanger. Well, happy fucking birthday, dude. That's a little that's a little, you know what I mean? But happy birthday, Geograph. Happy birthday, Geograph. There we go. Congratulations, sir, on another round around the sun. Another trip around the sun, is that what they call it? Anyway, today's Reparations coffee is in the Starry Nights cup that I got, and unfortunately you can see through it kind of. That I got. So I went to this thing called who does this? This Van Gogh, right? The Van Gogh Immersion Experience about a year ago. Was it a year ago? Yeah, it was almost exactly a year ago, in fact. And that was really cool. Have you ever gone to any of these immersion experience art exhibits where they'll take an artist and they'll take a bunch of their art and they'll animate it? I don't know how they animate it, but and then you're in this room where they make these rooms. They have all the 30 or 40 projectors where they make all this stuff move around and they tell a story. Oh my God, it was freaking cool. They also have, there's a bunch of them now that are traveling around the country. They move them from city to city. But if you ever get a chance to go to one, it is wild how cool it is. It's just, it's who said it's like, I stopped taking LSD, so I tend not to go to stuff like that. Yeah, boy, I tell you, it would be really weird to do it if you were on something. But it's damn, they're really cool. You got to go check one out. Anyway, where are we at? Don Julio, Gulf City Biker and Trash Man, has joined us. Welcome, sir. I think that's everybody. All right. And Anna Lynn, what up? Yo, dog, how's the hip? Oh, that's a good question. By the way, don't feel free to ask me questions in the chat. If I see them, make sure you put at least 3 question marks, though, because that helps me notice them better. But, and it's not an Ask Me Anything day, but, I pretty much, if you ask me something, I'm going to tell you. So as far as the hip goes, yesterday, I experimented walking around without the cane, and it went just fine. I still have problems if I sit too long. For example, after this show, I stand up and it's a little stiff. And also kind of turning, if I forget something, I go turn the other direction, and I'm like, oh, better not do that too fast. And stairs are still the only time where it actually even has a hint of pain. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, the pain's maybe 2. It's not a bad pain, but you just feel it. And so it makes me nervous. The biggest thing you have to worry about when you get a hip replaced for the first maybe 6 weeks to 2 months, you have to be careful that your muscles repair so that the ball that they put in this artificial joint doesn't dislocate. Okay, so there's certain ways you cannot move your body for a while until those muscle strength is there to hold it in. And so the doctor gave me several different things that I could and could not do. And so that's the only reason for me it's tough to go back to work, because one of my jobs involves going up and down ladders and stairs a lot. And then the other one, I have to get in and out of my car a lot because I'm taking things to people and whatever. So I'm going to be off. I'm still off work for I go back to work October 6th. But the hip for itself is no Kama Sutra for me for a while. Yeah. Well, yeah, just, anyway, I'm not going to get into that because Lady Boomer would not appreciate it. So anyway, let's get the day started with some news. Now, before I do that, okay, see, this is that Joe Biden thing I do every once in a while. I got some more thank yous too. Thank you for the people sharing the stream. The number one thing I need you to do right now, if you're thinking about it, because I'm telling you right now, share the stream. Share the stream. And many of you have already done that. For example, Tall Person. I'm retweeting these as I go, so I got to go slow. Thank you, Tall Person, for tweeting out the stream. Also, Jimmy.Hopetep, who's very good about sending out the Rumble link. I appreciate that because I'm on YouTube and Rumble. Make sure you're to subscribe to both. Thank you, Tall Person, doing the Rumble link too. I appreciate it. Somnambul Nation every day. shares the stream. It's great. So there you go. And then a bunch of you retweeted Scribe Light and Somnambule Nation, Jimmy Nuss Hotep. I appreciate all of you do it. Good morning also to Lord Stanhope. How you doing? Can you make up a list of your donors? I'm not sure. Well, here's the thing. In my outro, which I have to update because I haven't updated it since, I think, March. Or no, I haven't. Yeah, March is the last time I updated the outro. I acknowledge all my donors and sponsors, whatever, in the outro. And I need to make a new one. Probably I'll get that done in the next week or so. For the ones that are more up to date, and the top 20 are usually the first ones listed, and then I list all of them after the show. So yes, I do that. So let's see. There are positions in the Kama Sutra that can be accomplished with the man likes it. No, I know there's plenty in there I can do. I'm just saying I'm not doing any of the weird shit, okay? Or the stuff that requires like yoga skills, because I didn't have any yoga skills before the hip was replaced. Although, look, here's the thing though. Okay, back to the hip. Is my hip actually feels better, way better than before the surgery. It's night and day. I mean, I can do more things today than I could before I got the hip replaced, because I was in pain all the time. I'm not in pain all the time anymore. It's just when I do certain things, I feel the wrath of, having a hip replaced. But it's not even a wrath. It's like a 1 or 2 on a scale of 10 as far as pain goes. Like I said, the biggest thing you worry about is dislocating it, because if you dislocate a replaced hip, with an artificial, they have to do a new surgery, and so that's where it gets, or they have to reset it. It makes it easier for it to do it again, and so they got to start over. Good morning, Man Squatch. How you doing? So there we go. And I have one more. No, that's it. Oh, and Tire, thank you. See, now I mentioned it and you all did it. So if you follow me on Twitter, which is also, take out the .live and just put an ad in front of it. That's what I am on Twitter/X. That's what I am on Rumble. That's what I'm on YouTube. That's what I'm at on any number of social media sites. I have my markers and actually sites on all the other social media, and several other streaming venues that I just don't use. I also have backups on Odyssey, if you're familiar with Odyssey, but I just don't use them primarily. I use YouTube, Rumble, and follow me on Locals. It's in the links every day. My local stream. Just follow me. If you want to support me there, I would greatly appreciate that too. Money can buy some happiness. Or something like that. So anyway, all right, let's get into the news, because I've been babbling for how long? Way too long. Let's get this show. Excuse me. I'm parched. There we go. Okay, here we go. Let's get into it. Now, remember we were talking about how Donald Trump said he was going to visit the United Auto Workers, and he did do that. Or he's about to do that today, I think. But when Biden found that out after he said he wasn't going to, he decided to go and visit the United Auto Workers. Now, so we're going to go through just a short little blurb on this particular topic, but longer than some of the other topics, because there's a couple funny things. So, one of the things that our current president, the sponge brain shit pants, does is he constantly calls on Americans to reduce carbon emissions, right? And that's part of the reason that, there's some concerns in Detroit and St. Louis, and, I guess they don't really make any cars in St. Paul anymore, but in the city, Ohio, there's states where they build cars, right? And the United Auto Workers is striking in 20 different states where they make auto parts and assemble autos. And he's constantly calling on Americans to reduce carbon emissions, right? And he's going to take this trip to Ohio, I guess he went to Michigan to visit the United Auto Workers who are on strike. He's going to go on the picket line, right? And so here is the Joe Biden carbon neutral motorcade going down the street on their way to, on their way to the United Auto Workers strike. Now, I'm not sure what language this person is speaking in, but this is the motorcade for Joe Biden to go visit the United Auto Workers on the picket line. And thank goodness he's using the carbon neutral Chevy Suburbans and Cadillac Escalades and the big old hog of whatever that, what do they call it? The Beast? There's two versions of the Beast. They try to disguise which is which. And who knows if this is the correct one they're looking at. But anyway, thank goodness he did a carbon neutral way to get there. Okay? All right. Enough of that. The joke's over. Shut up. Turn that off. Good God. Anyway, so there's that. And then once he got there, once he got to the picket line, listen to this. He spent a total of 12 minutes at the picket line. Yeah, no, I know it's Japanese. I was just being silly. 12 minutes at the picket line. He flew to Michigan, went to the picket line in a cascade of how many cars was that? I think it was 28. 28 vehicles. 28 vehicles escorting the president, carbon neutral vehicles, I might add. Wink, wink. 12 minutes at the picket line. And just over an hour. He only spent an hour in the state. 1 hour. He literally flew in, go to the photo op, and left. Wow.
Wow.
So here's the story, Joe Biden. And then he fails to mention that his China-friendly electric vehicle mandates while he was visiting striking workers. On Tuesday, President Joe Biden visited members of the United Auto Workers who are striking against General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis, which is apparently Chrysler and everybody else that, whoever bought out Chrysler and Jeep and all that. They're on one company called Stellantis now. The president failed to mention his electric vehicle mandates, which are partly responsible for the strike. Yes, tens of thousands of auto workers are striking against the big three across the United States, looking to secure a new labor contract that includes wage increases to keep up with Biden's record inflation and commitments that their jobs will not be eliminated by Biden's green energy agenda, which includes electric vehicle mandates. Well, during his 12-minute visit, he 12 minutes with the United Auto Worker members in Wayne County, Michigan. Biden spoke for 87 seconds. So remember we were talking the other day about how much the FBI director, flight for the FBI director cost because of the landing fees in D.C. and this and that and all the other and the amount of fuel it uses and all that, right? Now, Joe Biden took a helicopter to Dulles or wherever they do the presidential plane land, whatever. Got on Air Force One. They transported the two beasts, the beast and the replica beast, to Michigan. We had a motorcade of 28 vehicles. Went to a strike picket line for 12 minutes, did an 87-second speech, and took the motorcade back to whatever airport he flew into and left back to Washington to fly back to whatever airport the presidential plane lands and then gets on a helicopter to take it back to the White House. For an 87-second speech, a total of 1 hour. Mind you, 1 hour in the state of Michigan. Good morning to Mr. Rod Line. How you doing, brother? So, but we're going to be the most energy efficient country in the world because America is America. And I'm Joe Biden and I like to whisper. Breitbart News economic editor John Carney has detailed Biden's EV mandates are partly responsible for the automobile industry strike as well as inflation. Let's see. He writes, no wonder one of the top demands of the UAW is the return of cost of living adjustments. Companies have offered to pay inflation bonus to help repair the damage inflation has done to the earning power of workers. To accept that, however, unions would have to once again trust that inflation will be contained. Given the betrayal of the last promise is a still fresh wound, that is a very big risk. The betrayal of the auto workers by the Biden administration goes beyond inflation, of course. The Biden administration has been pushing policies to electrify most new vehicles within a decade or so. That rush towards electric vehicles will mean a rapid decline in payrolls for auto workers, even as the automakers enjoy Inflation Reduction Act subsidies. Although the Biden administration claims there will be many new clean and green jobs, no plausible estimates see a net increase in employment for auto workers from the transition. You don't need as many people on the electric vehicle assembly line as you do to build gas-fueled cars. And it is also not gone without notice by the unions that many of the proposed new green manufacturing plants are in anti-union right-to-work states, which I don't have a problem with that. Even if you are a big believer in the notion that climate change is an existential threat that requires transformation and sacrifice, how can requiring an outsized sacrifice by auto workers be justified? If we are all to benefit from rushing the process to electric vehicles, why are auto workers left paying the price? So that's, and remember, Donald Trump is like, you know what? Make whatever the fuck you want. It's not a crisis. And then it goes on talking about some people blasting him, whatever. So, but the big story though, 87 seconds. That's, well, I don't even know how to describe that. Now a couple truths here. Before that, let me say thank you, Rachel Madhouse Dildo, for sponsoring the show, dropping a deuce in the tip jar. Thanks to our daily uses. Oh, good God. Remember, I should probably do music during the reading of the during the reading of the donations. Thanks to our daily uses. And remember, this is from Rachel Madhouse Dildo. Thanks to our daily uses, Rachel is going to need a new hip, back, and neck. Wait, what? She might like the clam from time to time, but she can't deny herself the BBC. Talk later. I'm going back in. Okay, that's just a little too much information, Rachel. Or, excuse me, Rachel Madhouse Dildo. I don't want to think about the usage of Rachel Madhouse Dildo. Stop it. Please, stop it. But I appreciate you sponsoring the show. You're a great American. Anything to keep Rachel occupied so she's not running her mouth is a good thing to me. Okay, good morning, Kevin S., by the way. Moving on. So anyway, now there's a little article here in PJ Media, which is probably spot on, where Biden would have never joined the UAW picket line if not for Trump. Right. Joe Biden fancies himself as a lot of things. He thinks he has the best job creation record of all predecessors. Well, that's not true. He claims to be a man of empathy, but that's a big lie as well. Another title he claims to own is being the most pro-union president in history. You know what? I don't care about the unions, but I care about the workers. And if they're part of the UAW, they're workers, and if you're doing everything you can to destroy their jobs, I can understand why they might be a little upset and they're asking for crazy raises, right? But anyway, so Joe Biden has taken a very hands-off, stay-in-the-background approach to the United Auto Workers strike, and those efforts haven't been very successful. In order to prove his pro-union bona fides, he joined the UAW picket line in Michigan on Tuesday. Now, for sure, Biden is getting the expected good press by the completely staged event. Oh, you think? You think he 12 minutes, 87-second speech, 1 hour total time in Michigan? He spent more time. Okay, let's put it this way. That's about a 3-hour flight from Washington to the Detroit area, right? I would guess. I'm sure he flew into Detroit. I'm sure he had about a 45-minute ride, in the Beast to the picket line. So let's just say an hour there, hour back, 3 hours flight time, and another probably hour between airport and back to the White House. So 2 plus 6 is 8 plus 2, 10 hours. He spent 10 times more time traveling than he spent in the entire state of Michigan. Take that times what? Another 10, so probably 100 at least. Then divide the speech. We're talking like his speech, he spent spent probably 100 and 200 times more times traveling than he did giving the speech, which was a mumbling mess, according to someone in the chat, which we're gonna play it because it's only 87 seconds, so what the fuck. Anyway, unbelievable. Anyway, the point of this article is he wouldn't have went there if Trump had never said he's going. We already knew that. We said that yesterday. Now, the auto workers, interesting though, the president of the United Auto Workers boss took a shot at Trump though, instead of Joe Biden. UAW boss says Trump works for the billionaire class ahead of his visit. Really? I bet you, okay, let's take, how much more time do you think Trump will spend with the workers than Joe Biden did? I'm sure his speech will be longer, his time with the workers themselves, because the workers, they're the union, but they also like Trump, right? And they know Trump is not trying to destroy their jobs. So the UAW boss says Sean Fain took a swipe at former President Trump, saying he serves a billionaire class a day ahead of Trump's visit to Detroit, where he will speak to union workers. He's going to talk to the workers. He don't care about the union bosses. He cares about the workers. When asked on CNN about the former president's trip to Detroit, Fain said, "I see no point in meeting with him because I don't think the man has any bit of care about what our workers stand for, what the working class stands for." Well, remember, Trump's first 2 years in office, manufacturing jobs grew. And in Biden's 3 years in office, well, they got to go back to work, sort of. Not all of them. They say, "Oh, we increased manufacturing." No, you didn't. Manufacturing stopped during COVID. So that's the increase is what got returned. Now, there are some new plants and things moving. Oh, and you know what other manufacturing that grew under Biden? Proterra, the bus company. Remember the electric bus company that went bankrupt about 6 months ago or whatever it was, 3 months ago? It was this summer. Yeah, those are the jobs that grew for a minute until they went bankrupt and stopped building shit. Anyway, he serves a billionaire class, and that's what's wrong with this country. Hey, dickhead, guess who provides the jobs to the workers that are on strike right now? Oh, the billionaire class? Yeah, remember you exchange your labor for, whatever value so you can eat. Yeah, those guys. So it's stupid to look. I think I get it. There's a tug of war about who should make what and what money, whatever. But still, you're codependent. One doesn't exist without the other. Okay. So yes, I don't mind you negotiating what you get out of doing the work for these people, but the people who invested in all this shit so you could have a job, don't take a dump on them. And if he works for the billionaire class, I don't care. If it works out for everybody, great. Rising tide raises all boats. Anyway, Trump's going to Detroit today, where he'll meet with current and former union workers amid the ongoing strike against the big three automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, aka Chrysler, Jeep, and all that shit. So anyway, that's a good time to take a shot at President Trump, right? Take a shot at President Trump when he's actually showing some interest in the workers who are on strike. That's brilliant. I'm sure the rank and file just love the fact that you did that, right? So, other stories on this, among Michigan's striking auto workers, they had a tepid welcome for Union Joe. President Joe Biden received a tepid welcome from striking auto workers in the Detroit area, with many expressing concerns about his support for electric vehicles. See, just what we were just talking about. I have a lot of mixed emotions about Biden being here today, said Casey Rutner, who builds trucks for Ford. I want my job to be here in the future, not for me, but I have a son. I had hoped he would work for Ford one day, too, with electric vehicles. Now I'm not so sure. Yeah, who knows? Are these companies going to be able to survive Biden's mandates? Rutner is a member of the United Auto Workers, which earlier this month kicked off the country's largest strike in decades. The union want the big three automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Chryslers, to guarantee higher wages and benefits, particularly in the face of expanded electric vehicle production. Well, you're kind of, again, you're fighting, okay, so, I'm sorry, let me finish this sentence. Auto workers are nervous about losing their jobs as the industry increases production of electric vehicles, which require about 40% less manpower to build, according to Ford CEO James Farley. Now, so there's a tug of war. There's a big tug of war on this. You know, the idea that these electric vehicles are going to save the planet when your carbon production to build an electric vehicle is about, what is it, 5 or 8 times more than it does for a regular vehicle. So in order for it to even come close, the vehicle has to last for 70,000 miles. And a lot of people get rid of cars after that many miles, or, which they may not with electric vehicles, but the batteries too, they got to be replaced. And it's like, what was it for a Tesla to replace the batteries is like $9,000 to replace the batteries on a Tesla. Anyone know the answer to that question? It's a lot, because you got to, and that's after, 35,000 miles, you have to replace the batteries. It's nonsense. EVs are not ready for mass adoption. No, they're not, Rod. You're exactly right. Anyway, union members of opposition to electric vehicle production has put them at odds with Biden, who often boasts that he is the most pro-union president in history. Biden has praised General Motors chief Mary Barra for her efforts to ramp up electric vehicle production, and his Democratic allies in Congress since 2021 have passed tens of billions of dollars in tax credits and subsidies to boost demand and production for electric vehicles. So they're borrowing money from China so you can buy an electric vehicle. How's that? Isn't that special? Anyway, the point of this article, he didn't get as warm a reception as expected, but I'm sure they were cheering him because he's a Democrat and that's how it works. But anyway, I don't have the speech. Where's the speech? Hang on a second. I'm sorry. I failed you people. Come on. Let's see. Any more notifications? No, there's not. Okay. Share the stream if you haven't done so yet. Oh, thank you. Oh no, someone replied to me. Oh, good Lord. This woman, I don't know why this woman always replies to me. She's on the left, but she follows me, and we have good exchanges, but she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. Anyway, she's talking about the Mar-a-Lago, and I'm so tempted to talk to her right now, but that's not what I'm here for. Biden, let's see, Biden, UAW. I thought I had already bookmarked the speech. Let's listen to the speech by President Biden. Where's the third? I want to see the 7. Let's see. Is this it? Okay, here we go. This is CNN. This is Biden's entire speech, including the introduction of the president on the picket line at this United Auto Workers picket line. I'm being redundant. Here we go. Here's the intro and Biden's entire speech. And the whole thing lasts 40 seconds. Let's go.
Part of this fight, and let's get back to winning solidarity for all of our members and economic and social justice for all of our members.
Economic and social justice? Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you.
Heard me say it many times. Wall Street didn't build the country. The middle class built the country.
Wall Street didn't build the country. The middle class built the country. Good morning, Kessler. What's up? How you doing? Nice to see you. And unions built the middle class. That's a fact.
So let's keep going. You deserve what you've earned, and you've earned a hell of a lot more than you're getting paid now. Thank you very much.
That's it. Now, where am I supposed to go? Now, and when he finishes, what is he doing here? He's okay.
So let's keep
What is he
going.
doing?
You deserve what you've earned, and you've
Watch
earned
what
a
he-
hell of a lot more than
is
you're
he
getting paid
lost?
now. Thank you very much.
Okay. Come here, Mr. President. Let's go. Let's go. That was his speech. He flew, 10 hours total travel time and probably the carbon emissions of a volcano for that speech. But guess what he got out of this? He got the photo op he wanted. He got the union president to say something bad about Trump. Should I link that? I probably should. Hang on a second. I'll make sure that's in links too. If you need some, good, let's say you need to extract some poison that you accidentally swallowed. you can watch that and it'll take care of your business. Anyway, thank you, Big Dave. Big Dave reposted the Morning Night Live. I don't know who Big Dave is, but if you're in the show, watching the show, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Follow me. Oh, Big Dave followed me. So whoever Big Dave is, thank you. Okay, let's move on from Biden has some other issues though going on. Not just the strike, right? Apparently, this is interesting. So, we've been talking about the Hunter Biden laptop. Remember Hunter Biden suing Rudy Giuliani, and all the Democrats are like, "Oh, Joe did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. The Hunter Biden's not the one running for president. Hunter Biden's not the president of the United States. Hunter Biden. You keep talking about Hunter Biden. What does he have to do with Joe Biden, except for the fact that he's a son and Hunter Biden pays for all Joe's shit? Anyway, this is interesting. An oversight committee found BHR Partners bank wires. BHR Partners is Hunter Biden's company, whatever. Lists Joe Biden's Delaware home address as beneficiary address. Wait a minute. They couldn't rent an office in Delaware? Because, a lot of companies put offices in Delaware because for tax reasons, I guess there's no corporate tax in Delaware. And so a lot of companies say they're Facebook is based in Delaware. Do you know that? Anyway, not Facebook, Meta, even though most of their operations are not in Delaware. In fact, I don't know if any of their operations are in Delaware, but they list themselves Delaware as their home because, the corporate tax thing in Delaware. Anyway, Hunter Biden received 2 wires totaling $260,000 in 2019, originating from Chinese business partners that listed Joe Biden's Delaware home as the beneficiary address for the funds, according to the House Oversight Committee on Tuesday. Bombshell allegations. The bombshell allegation is the first direct link between Joe Biden and foreign wired money to the Biden family business from China.
China is asshole.
The Delaware address is Joe Biden's main residence. Hunter Biden also spent time at the address, though it is unclear if he claimed it as his home address at the time of the wire transfer in July and August of 2019. The revelation emerged from the committee met the recent subpoena of financial records related to the specific bank account that received 2 wires from China.
China is asshole.
Linked to the BHR Partners Associates, according to the committee. So anyway, oh no. In July 26, 2019, Wang Jin, as opposed to Wang Chung, wired $10,000 with Joe Biden's home address listed on the wire. On August 2nd, 2019, Jonathan Lee rewired $250,000 with Joe Biden's home listed on the wire. Drip, drip, drip. Is anybody surprised? Is anybody surprised that Biden just might be dirty? I don't know. There's plenty of evidence. Come on now. Now, also, Also, I'm doing a lot of Biden shit right now. BHR, Biden's Hidden Receivables. Yes, exactly. Very good, Somnambule Nation. That's what it stands for. Didn't you know that? That's what it stands for. All right. Now, there's one other Biden who is causing problems in the world. He didn't get any transfers from Sum Ting Wong. No, I don't think he did. God. Thank you, AD, for that little moment of levity on this show. That's what we need more of. Levity. Levity. Yes, levity. I wonder how many times I could just say levity. Another Biden in trouble is why the Secret Service is trending right now. Apparently, Commander Biden. Do you know who Commander Biden is? Yes, Commander Biden, the Biden's ever-loving pet, is in trouble again and has Secret Service trending on Twitter, aka the app formerly known as X, because Commander, the Biden's dog, has bitten another Secret Service agent. Oh my God. Commander bites another Secret Service agent. This is according to This is CNN. President Joe Biden's younger dog, Commander, bit another U.S. Secret Service agent at the White House Monday evening. CNN has learned the 11th known biting incident involving the 2-year-old German Shepherd. Get that fucking dog under control, motherfucker. Yesterday, around 8 p.m., a Secret Service uniformed division police officer came in contact with the first family pet and was bitten. Came in contact? More like the dog came in contact with him. The officer was treated by medical personnel on... What? They bit enough that he had to be treated by medical personnel. The injured officer spoke with Secret Service Uniform Division Chief Alfonso M. Dyson Sr. on Tuesday and is doing okay. I mean, wait, doing okay? How much damage did this dog do? Get it? I said dog do. Anyway, how many times is this dog going to get it pass? Stop biting the Secret Service agents. You can't even see that, can you? There we go. The 11th time, and Mary what does she call her name? Mary Catherine Ham says, "Hey, you have all the resources in the world. Please get the dog some damn help instead of setting him up for failure over and over. The pattern is the family environment, not the dogs. This happened with at least two of every background in different ages. This is insane. Get a dog trainer or something. Oh God. See, it's not always the dog. Sometimes it's just a bad dog owner. Of course, maybe the Secret Service are assholes to dogs. Well, that could be true too. Kevin, good boy. Does that mean the agent is awarded the Purple Heart? I don't know if they use Purple Hearts in the Secret Service. I wonder if they get a special accommodation for injuries in the line of duty. Maybe not. Who knows? Good morning, Phantom Dog Fart. That's very timely for you to drop in. Tom Fitton yesterday around 8. Okay, why are the Bidens allowing their dog to repeatedly bite the Secret Service personnel there to protect them? Who knows? I don't get it. Clearly, the Bidens are too old to handle their German Shepherds. And, I mean, good God, couldn't they pay somebody to handle the dogs? I mean, they get all this money from China. What are you doing with it? Come on, man. Anyway, thank you, Fox Ghost, for tweeting out the show. I appreciate it. And Tyler F, too. I appreciate everyone doing that. All right, let's move on. Are we done talking about Biden? No, this is one, I don't know. Jack Gunsky, what's up, brother? How you doing? Hello to you too. So other things trending on Twitter that are in the news, the visa waiver program is trending. And that's because apparently, as of this morning, newly revealed documents on, this is Khrushchev talking. Congratulations to Israel for becoming a part of the visa waiver program. We are proud of this joint success, bringing the American and Israel people close together. Who is this person? Let's see what this person is talking. Is this from someone from Israel or the United States? Here, let's see.
Let me be among the first to say congratulations. We are excited to welcome Israel as the 41st country
So
into
41
the visa
country.
waiver program.
All right, so the visa waiver program, all that means is that when you're trying to get a visa to travel the United States, some countries you are required to pay a visa waiver fee or something like that, or a visa fee. And there are 41 countries where you do not have to do that. Mostly, I mean, like, for example, Canada or Mexico, there's no visa. Actually, you don't even have to have a visa. You just have to have a proper docs to be able to travel in between the countries. But so there's several countries that you don't have to pay a fee to get a visa to the United States. And so now they've added Israel to the list. I don't know if this is a big deal. I'm sure some people will bitch about it because of the relationship between Israel and the Palestinians and all that crap, the conflict going on, and, you know, all the people who are, you know, hate Jewish people, whatever. But fuck those people. I don't care. These are people, and we have a strong relationship with Israel. I'm sure some of the other countries are, for example, Great Britain, Spain, most of the Western European countries, Australia, there's Japan, there's a bunch of countries that are not required to pay a fee to get a visa. You still have to apply for the visa, but you don't pay a fee. So anyway, Israel is now one of those countries in the program. Now, for example, here's someone bitching about it. Outrageous! The U.S. let Israel into the visa waiver program despite the fact that it discriminates against Palestinian Americans, making a mockery of the requirement to treat all U.S. citizens equally. Wait a minute. Excuse me. I don't know a single Palestinian who is an American citizen. Now, are there Americans of Palestinian descent? I'm sure there's some. But what do you mean, treat all U.S. citizens equal? What U.S. citizens are Israel not treating equally? I'm just curious. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, yet another way in which the U.S. singles out Israel for special treatment. No, it doesn't say that. It's the 41st member of the visa waiver program. So it's that's not singling out Israel for special treatment. Sorry, I had a Mitch McConnell moment there, but it was very short, if you noticed. Anyway, Israel's now the 41st member of the program. Okay, and that's why it's trending. I'm sure it's trending because of the people bitching about it. But a whole bunch of outlets are reporting it. And again, here's another one, James Zogby. Now, James Zogby, the polling guy. So the U.S. will admit Israel into the visa waiver program despite Israel's continued discrimination against U.S. citizens of Arab descent. Do they? That are right, as U.S. citizens count so little to Israel, and the U.S. is disgraceful, insulting, and violation of the law. And it's, here in Haaretz, let's read this article from Haaretz. It's expected to face serious legal challenges as Israel and the U.S. prepare to officially announce the move. Critics say Israel failed to guarantee equal travel rights to all U.S. citizens. Oh, well, now this is a part I didn't know. And unfortunately, you have to sign up for an email to read the rest of the article. Let me see if I can get an archived version of this. I don't know if you can or not. Let's find out. Copy. Oh yeah, here's an archived copy of the article. Let's just check it out for a second. Cause this is not my roundhouse, to be honest with you, or wheelhouse. Roundhouse. I'm like Patrick Swayze in that what's that movie where he's supposed to be a tough guy and he does roundhouse kicks. Somebody think of that movie. You know what movie I'm talking about. This is again a Biden McConnell moment. Anyway, after Israel's foreign minister prematurely announced Israel's acceptance into the U.S. visa waiver program that will allow Israelis to travel to the U.S. without obtaining an entry visa. Oh, this is waiving the entry visa completely. A spokesperson for the State Department declined to confirm the official announcement this coming Thursday. In a briefing on Tuesday, spokesperson Matthew Miller made it clear that he could not yet determine whether Israel was eligible for entry. We take all that data and look at it. Despite U.S. hesitancy to confirm it, Israel's entry into the program, which is slated to go into effect within the next 2 months, seems imminent at this point. Well, they already announced it. Even as Palestinian and Arab Americans complain that Israel failed to guarantee equal travel rights to all U.S. citizens. Roadhouse, thank you. I couldn't remember the name of that damn movie. Miller addressed these concerns, saying that along with the State Department or the Department of Homeland Security, we have had a monitoring mechanism in place to monitor conditions to ensure that Palestinian Americans are able to travel freely and to make sure that they are not discriminated against. That includes talking to people who have traveled in and out of Israel and understanding the experience. So I got a feeling, didn't Israel deny a congresswoman a visa? And that might be, maybe that's the issue they're talking about. Rashida Tlaib, I think. I can't remember if they did or not. But so anyway, we'll kind of sort of keep an eye on the story. It's not really my roundhouse, wheelhouse, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Oh, you got to head out. Take it easy, Select Boy. Appreciate you. Well, I'm off to an interview, so I'll catch you guys later. Hey, good luck, man. Kill it. Kill that interview, brother. All right. Next, we have, another thing trending that's like, sort of breaking news. Apparently, I don't know much about this case, and a lot of people have been talking about it, and I don't know who this person is, but the FBI in Louisville is announcing the arrest of Brooks Hoke as a result of the investigation into the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. Apparently, this Crystal Rogers woman disappeared in 2015. The FBI, in coordination with Kentucky State Police, other local and federal enforcement partners, the FBI Louisville has been laser focused on our commitment to hold accountable those that were responsible for the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. Today, we take significant step in making good on that promise. The FBI in Louisville and the Kentucky State Police have arrested Brooks Hoke without incident on charges stemming from the Crystal Rogers investigation. The Hoke indictment remains sealed, and additional details will be revealed during Hoke's arraignment in early October in the Nelson County Circuit Court. Now, anybody following this case? I'm not. I find it interesting, I guess. They arrested Brooks Hoke in a connection with Crystal Rogers' 2015 disappearance from Bardstown, Kentucky. He was her boyfriend, father of her child, and the last known person to see her before she went missing. Has this been a big story, though? Apparently it is now, because everyone's reporting on it. So anyway, look, maybe this gem in the comments section. Knock, knock, knocking on Brooke Hook's door. Yay, 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 yay. That's my Axl Rose impression. I hope you liked it. All right. Well, and there's a whole story on it, I guess, in, what's this story? Why is this not showing up? Here we go. The WRD. Oh, my goodness. Well, if you follow the story, here's the story from WBRD or DRB or someplace. This must be in Kentucky. Brooks Hoke's charged in murder of former girlfriend Crystal Rogers and bond set at $10 million. Brooks Hoke, the primary suspect in the disappearance of Crystal Rogers, was arrested Wednesday after being charged with complicity to murder and tampering with physical evidence, according to an indictment in Nelson County Circuit Court. Hoke was arrested without incident, the FBI wrote in a news release. Just before 11 a.m., Hoke was escorted to Nelson County Jail in handcuffs. Bonds was set at $10 million, and his arraignment was set for 1 p.m. on October 5th, my father's birthday. May he rest in peace. Rogers was last seen on July 3rd, 2015. The next day, her car was found on the side of the Blue Crest Parkway with her purse, phone, and keys still inside, but there's no sign of the mother of 5. 5 kids! Jesus Christ. No, not Brooks Hope. Oh, come on, Lord Stanhope. You don't hope for anybody. Anyway, the indictment accuses Hoke of acting alone or complicity with another, committing the offense of murder of Rogers. He's charged with tampering when he destroyed, mutilated, concealed, or removed or altered physical evidence, according to the indictment. In a 2015 interview with police, Hoke was asked if anyone would want to hurt Rogers. His answer was, as far as I know, she was a likable person. That's weird. If that's supposed to be her boyfriend, or was it her ex-boyfriend at the time? Investigators told him he was the main person of interest because he was the last known person to see her alive when they were at his family farm on the night of July 3rd. In the interview, Hoke said that he, Rogers, and their 2-year-old son Eli left the family farm around midnight of July 3rd. He said when they got home, he went straight to bed, and Rogers stayed up playing games on her phone. He said when he woke up in the morning on July 4th, Rogers wasn't there. He said, I wasn't even alarmed. He repeatedly denied involvement in Hook's appearance and so on and so forth. So, interesting. Mother of 5, but his was 2. Maybe they're all theirs. I don't know, but that's kind of wild. Best Axl Rose imitation ever by a guy named Marty. Well, thank you very much. I will take that. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Moving on. What else? Bugatti's trending. Now, I don't know why Bugatti's trending in general. I mean, everyone's talking about Bugattis today for some reason. But the one that caught my eye in this trending topic was, if you're familiar with the NBA basketball player named Jimmy Butler. Is he with the Bulls or is he in Miami now? He must be in Miami, I think. And Jimmy Butler, Bugatti the car, the Bugattis, not John Gotti, but Bugatti. Jimmy Butler was filling his Bugatti, and I don't know what kind of gas you have to. I'm sure you have to put some kind of super premium gas in a Bugatti, right? I'm assuming. And he was marveling at how much it costs to fill up his Bugatti. Okay. And if you look on here, 19.459 gallons, $142 to fill his Bugatti. Now that's, and he's just marveling at it. Let's see what he says here.
This is high rate fucking robbery.
Maybe he hasn't gotten gas for himself in a while.
I'm trying to get some of this gas back.
Now remember, Jimmy Butler is I think Jimmy Butler makes I want to say $20 million a year playing basketball. But so this for him, the 145. Now when I fill my truck tank, no, I don't have to use premium. And Minnesota gas is fairly low compared to other parts of the country. So I might fill my tank 19 gallons, probably $70, which is a lot, man. That's a lot of fucking money to drive for a week. But here's the thing about, here, let me see what else it says here.
I put the wrong gas in here, they give me a refund. This is crazy. I'm going electric.
Okay.
Can y'all believe it costs $145 to fill up a Bugatti? This is crazy, Avery.
That's only a 19-gallon tank. I have a 33-gallon tank on my truck. Okay. So I don't know. He put in 19. I'm sure it has. Look, here's the thing. I think the new Bugatti there's a new Bugatti out. It's $18.7 million for a Bugatti. Okay. You're talking about $145 in your, $10 million car. Let's see. Do I have this on here? Oh shoot. I didn't do this. Here's the thing about a Bugatti, and especially if you drive a Bugatti at its top speed, which I think is 312 miles an hour, is 300 miles an hour, whatever. Here it is. Here it is at full speed. Now this isn't kilometers, but you can figure it out. You can do the math. Oops, wait, what am I doing here? Let me open this up. Copy link, and let's open a new tab for this one. Sorry, guys. So here's an interesting fact about a Bugatti. If you drive a Bugatti at full speed, the Bugatti Veyron will only last 15 minutes. And it'll cost more than $42,000. No, that's somewhere else. That's somewhere else. 100 liters at full speed, which is about 26 gallons. It will drain the fuel tank in 12 minutes at top speed. What is here? Hey Siri, convert 408 kilometers to miles. 253 miles. So that's okay. So yeah. Okay. 12 minutes, 253 miles, but that's at top speed. But first of all, here's a problem with that idea. Where are you gonna drive a Bugatti at top speed for 250 whatever something miles. I don't think you can. Is there because you have to be going straight to go that fast. I mean, I don't think there's even a salt flat that's long. And I know there's a salt flat in South America. What's the longest salt flat in South America? Like Bonneville, there's not 253 miles you can drive in a straight line for that long. So anyway, it's an interesting fact, but whatever. But yeah, it cost him $150 put in 19 gallons. No, Route 66 isn't straight by any stretch of the imagination. Straight, 256 miles an hour. You cannot drive Route 66 for 200 that many miles. Maybe, oh, you know what? I bet if they closed like a road in western Nebraska or North Dakota or Montana, you might be able to do it. You might be able to go. There's certainly 250 miles that you can drive straight, but they'd have to close the road because you're going, 12 minutes. You're driving at top speed. Anyway, that's interesting. There's a top speed shootout in Texas, one highway. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's roads. We don't need roads. Surly, what's up? Nice to see you. All right, let's move on. Other things. Oh, now let's get into the Donald Trump stuff because this one's going to take a minute. And then I'll have a couple tidbits after that and we'll be done. So if the case in New York, Letitia James, and the fraud case for Donald Trump, well, a judge has made a decision in that case, and it is fucking insane. It's insane. And that is the reason Trump Tower is trending. That is the reason Mar-a-Lago is trending. That's the reason Zillow is trending. And this deranged moron of a judge has ruled that Trump committed fraud and is going to be stripping control of his key properties. They're going to take his property from him because of it. Now, I'm going to show you 3 different articles. There's different spins on these articles. The New York Times kind of just tells you what happened, but this is insane. The decision in a lawsuit that could go to trial next week is a major win for Attorney General Letitia James. I know it's Letitia, but it's funny to say Letitia, who says former President Donald Trump overvalued his holdings by as much as $2.2 billion. Okay, now, a New York judge ruled on Tuesday that Donald Trump persistently committed fraud by inflating the value of his assets and stripped the former president of control of some of his signature New York properties. A judge decides this. One person decided this. The surprising decision by Justice Arthur F. Engoron is a major victory for Letitia James in her lawsuit against Trump, effectively deciding that no trial was needed to determine that he had fraudulently secured favorable terms on loans and insurance deals. Now, I got to remind you, there's not a lender in the world that will lend you money just because you said my property is worth X. I could tell a mortgage company that my property is worth $10 billion and loan me a couple $100,000, and they're not going to do it without doing their own independent assessment of my property. This is insane. Ms. James argued that Mr. Trump inflated the value of his properties by as much as $2.2 billion and is seeking a penalty of about $250 million in a trial scheduled to begin as early as Monday. The judge made the decision that no trial for that part of the trial was necessary. Are you fucking kidding me? Just on Letitia James' word. Justice Engoron, or whatever, wrote that the annual financial statements that Mr. Trump submitted to banks and insurance companies clearly contain fraudulent valuations that the defendant used in business. Again, it doesn't matter what he submitted to banks. It's the bank's job to verify it. Ms. James, in a brief statement, said, "We look forward to presenting the rest of our case at trial. A lawyer for Mr. Trump, Mr. Christopher M. Wise, indicated that he would likely appeal the decision, which he called outrageous and completely disconnected from the facts and governing law. He said that the judge ignored an earlier appeals court ruling and basic legal, accounting, and business principles. Trump, for his part, noted that Engerin was a Democrat and called him deranged. Abso-freaking-lutely. I mean, it goes on and on things. But so let me just give you some details. Let me give you some details, okay? For example, here's Mar-a-Lago trending, because the judge said that the property in Palm Beach, Mar-a-Lago, he said it was worth between $18 and $27 million. Okay? Now, Mar-a-Lago resort and business and home and whatever that he has in Florida, claiming that it was $18 to $27 million. Okay. Now this is the same country where paintings from Hunter Biden are worth $500,000 apiece. The property at Mar-a-Lago is a beachfront 27-acre property. 27 acres. So here's a picture. Here's a picture of Mar-a-Lago. It has beachfront on both edges of the property. This is Mar-a-Lago. This entire area, all these buildings, the main resort here, the tennis courts over here. This is Mar-a-Lago. All this is the Mar-a-Lago Beach Resort and home to Trump. Said it's $18 to $27 million. Now, the reason Zillow is trending in relation to this is because there's a nearby vacant lot with waterfront nearby. 2.3 acres. 2.3 acres vacant beachfront property that is currently listed for sale right adjacent to or nearby beachfront property that is listed for $200 million. Vacant property versus, 17 acres of Mar-a-Lago with waterfront on both sides listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The judge says that property is worth between $18 and $27 million. Nearby lot, vacant lot, 2.3 acres, $200 million. Listed is not worth it. I know that. I know. Look, this was my job for a long time. Real estate lending. There's not a beachfront property in Florida, oceanfront, not just like a lakefront. This is oceanfront property. There's not a piece of land in Florida on the ocean, unless it's swampland that you can't build on. Yes, and a historical listing can reduce the values. I doubt it though. Not if it was owned by Trump. Sorry. And a lot of people will make that argument too, that historic listing can devalue a property, except for the fact that this property is also a functioning business with multiple other, functions. It's, let's just say this is not even coming close. Hello, Parody Bear. What's up? So anyway, that's why Zillow is trending. Also Trump Tower is trending because this judge can take Trump Tower away from Donald Trump. One judge, and they're going to do it without a jury too. That's the other interesting thing. Oh, you're going to do it in front of a jury and a judge that made this particular assessment, with insane assessment. So anyway, Trump Tower, and then people say, oh, all the lefties are so excited. Oh, they should seize Trump Tower and rename it the Hillary Clinton Federal Building. You fucking morons. You have no idea what you're talking about. So anyway, here's Judge Enron Ergenen's ruling. Trump committed fraud regarding the value of Mar-a-Lago. It appears the judge believes Trump committed fraud if he valued Mar-a-Lago at anything more than between $18 million and $27 million as of late 2021. What harm? What harm would that do to anybody? Is anybody harmed by that? He bought it Mar-a-Lago in 1985. In 1993, he sought and obtained permission of the town of Palm Beach to turn the property into a social club. And on August 1993, he entered the Declaration of Use Agreement, which he agreed to use of land be for a private social club, and that any additional uses of land shall be subject to approval by the applicable government authority, blah, 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 blah. 1995, Trump signed a deed of conservation and preservation easement in which he gave up his right to use Mar-a-Lago for any purpose other than a social club. The 1995 deed, blah, blah, blah. In 2002, he signed a deed of development, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Here's the beef. The historic preservation of Donald Trump agreed to forever extinguish his right to develop or use the property for any purpose other than the club. The 2002 deed specifically limits the changes to property, including without limitation, division, subdivision, blah, 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 blah. So this can lower the value of the property. But from 2011 to 2021, the Palm Beach County assessor appraised the market value of Mar-a-Lago at between $18 and $27 million. A county assessor value means nothing. It means nothing. That's why. So he's using the county assessor's value of the property? Are you kidding me? Notwithstanding, FCC's values do not reflect these land use restrictions. Donald Trump's SFCs for 2021 value Mar-a-Lago between 426 or what? This doesn't even, whoever wrote this is stupid. No, 426 million, 529, 614, and 600 million, 110 million, blah, blah, blah. An overvaluation of at least 2,300% compared to the assessor's appraisal. The county assessor doesn't appraise property. They give a tax value to the property. A county assessor is going to be taxed based on this amount. I could have a property in New York City, or a rent control apartment, whatever, could be appraised at, 10 million, but you could probably sell it on the market for 250 million. That has the tax assessed value is not reflected of the market value of the property. A oceanfront property, even if it has to be preserved as is in Florida, is not going to go for $27 million. The land alone, even if you were gonna, this is insane. That's not how it works. Where's the lady in the AT&T commercial, whatever commercial is? That's not how it works. The market value of the property, certainly the fact that Trump owned it may raise the value of it somewhat. Now, is he probably out of line with 426 million? I don't know. With all the buildings on the property and the tennis club and whatever, it might be. Real estate valuations are more accurate. Yes, you want not the assessor's value. This is crazy. This is crazy. Yeah. Here it is. This is a good point. This might be the best point. This is gonna get its own. It's gonna get its own little blurb here. Hang on a second, because this one is gonna be in the links. Now imagine if, let's say, on the passing of Mr. Trump. Now, one interesting thing about this, the New York judge has no say in what happens with Mar-a-Lago. He can't take Mar-a-Lago because it's not in New York. But they can make Trump sell off. Oh, by the way, the judgment in this max, I think, is like $250 million. But they've basically revoked his business license so they can take control of his properties. This is in a, just a simple term, un-American. It's unbelievable. Now, here's a great point, though. Now, imagine if Donald Trump Jr. and his family inherited Mar-a-Lago and claimed it was worth $18 million or $27 million, or the tax assessed value. How would the IRS treat that? The IRS certainly wouldn't go for that when you come to inheritance taxes. You think the IRS will say, okay, yeah, the judge said $27 million. That's probably all it's worth. Are you fucking kidding me? It's funny. Outraged Eric Trump condemns New York ruling and writes, in an attempt to destroy my father and kick him out of New York, a judge just ruled that Mar-a-Lago and Palm Beach is worth only approximately $18 million. Mar-a-Lago is speculated to be worth over $1 billion, making it arguably the most valuable residential property in the country. It is also corrupt and coordinated. Now, Eric Trump, you are a little out of the probably incorrect too. It's not. There's no chance that it's worth over $1 billion. But the IRS listed at $12 trillion. Yeah, if Eric, I bet you if Eric Trump inherits it, it'll be worth over $1 billion to the IRS. This is some insanity. And I cannot believe the judge used the tax assessed value. Oh, hey, judge, how much is your home worth? How much is your home worth? Wait, turn that music off. What the hell? How much is your home worth, judge? Okay. Oh, what? You bought it for $500,000 or whatever? Oh, here it says the tax assessed value is only, $245,000. So are you overinflating the value of your property when you try to sell it? Should we sue you for that? Oh my God. So, now let's see how the New York Post treats this a little bit differently, because they give you their lead is different than the New York Times. Judge revokes New York business licenses, finds he committed fraud by inflating his wealth. Manhattan judge on Tuesday found Donald Trump committed fraud by exaggerating his value of his wealth and canceled the former president's New York business licenses, which could hamper his longtime company's ability to operate in the Empire State. And this is all they want. They just want to take him down. They want to destroy Donald Trump. And you know me, I'm not the Trump guy, even though I'm going to vote for him if he's the nominee. I don't have a thing for Donald Trump. I just think this is nuts. This is nuts no matter who. If this was happening to Joe Biden, I'd be saying the same thing. If this was happening to Alex Baldwin, I would be the same thing. I'd be saying the same no matter who it was. This is because this was my business. I did this long enough to know that this judge is out of his fucking mind. So yeah, that's it. So the judge ruled he revokes Trump's New York business license. Now that's even funny in itself. In New York, you have to have a business license. That's interesting. I mean, I suppose you do, but again, that's just a tax. Now here's, this is from Al Jazeera, a key explainer. Key takeaways from Donald Trump's new fraud ruling. He ruled that President Donald Trump committed fraud for years while building his real estate empire. Trump overvalued his assets. Trump lied on his financial statements. Could be banned from business in New York. Groundhog Day. Trump lawyers asked the judge to throw out the case, which he refused. They contend that James was not legally allowed to file a lawsuit because there's no evidence the public was harmed by Trump's actions. They argued that that's another problem. Well, we'll see. They argued that several allegations of the lawsuit were barred by the statute of limitations. Ergonon, noting that he had emphatically rejected those arguments early in the case, equated them to the time loop in the film Groundhog's Day. This guy just hates Trump. He fined 5 defense lawyers $7,500 each as a punishment for engaging in repetitive arguments. Really? I'd appeal that too. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. Trump calls the ruling un-American, and then Ergonon's ruling comes in a phase of the case known as summary judgment, resolves the key claim in Judge James' lawsuit, but 6 others remain. Ergonon is slated to hold a non-jury trial starting October 2nd before deciding on those claims and any punishments he may impose. The trial could last into December. So, look, this is a judge who hates Trump. So that's another take on it. Here's a take from the National Post, which is on the right. Far left Democratic judge says businessman Trump overvalued his empire. And they start with the lead, a far left Democratic judge in New York, which a long time ago I said, there's not going to be a fair trial in this. It's a stupid trial. It's completely off base. But in New York, can Donald Trump get a fair trial? I think this is a proof and a precursor to all the other trials that Trump's going to go through, except maybe the federal case in Florida. But all the Trump's trials are going to go like this because the judges and everybody involved have the same purpose, to destroy one man, because he made the mistake of running for president in 2016 and winning. And they obviously, none of this, where were these cases before 2016? Nope. This is get Trump, destroy. They want to destroy the man, period. Because this ruling is insane. So the trial against Trump will continue in October with Letitia James using her position to attempt to fine Trump $250 million explicitly to harm his election campaign and indeed ban him from doing business in New York. Judge Ergenon's ruling is likely to cause a shockwave across New York in general, with many firms now likely to review how they handle their financial estimates and information if the government alongside the far-left judiciary is left in charge of interpreting their finances. And that's, are they going to go after anybody else? Oh, they won't go after the people they like, I bet. They'll only go after the people who might have an R behind their name or say something that they don't like. The ruling sets the stage for a non-jury trial beginning in October, in which Ergenon will decide the remaining claims and any potential punishment. So no jury either. This is a judge trial, so this judge gets to control the whole thing. The appeals in this are going to be really, really interesting. The Trump lawyers argue there was no evidence of public harm caused by Trump's actions and that some of the allegations were even barred by statute of limitations. The judge refused to throw out the case. Trump himself had some harsh words. Oh, here's Trump's response. I have been unfairly sued by the Trump-hating Democrat Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, over false fact that I inflated my financial statements in order to borrow money from banks. The judge in this case, Arthur F. Engerin, refused to allow this case to go to the commercial division where it belongs because he is a Trump hater, even beyond even A.G. James, who campaigned against me spewing horrible inflammatory statements which are false and defamatory. I am not even allowed a jury. That's the other. There's a whole kinds of appealable things in this. Holy shit. The facts of the case are simple. I'm worth much more than the numbers shown in my financial statements. I didn't even include my most valuable asset, my brand. Yeah, his brand's still valuable. Come on. I'm sorry. There are people who go to Trump properties because the word Trump is on the name. And I'll tell you what, the MAGA faithful probably fill those spaces. I'm just saying. The total MAGA heads go to Trump Casino in Las Vegas. They do business in Trump Tower. They go and take pictures and selfies in front of Trump Tower. They go and visit the business in Trump Tower. The Trump faithful are faithful as fuck. And that brand, even though there's a lot of people who hate it, the brand itself is, well, I'm sure it's whatever. The banks were paid back in full, sometimes early. There were no defaults. The banks made money, were represented by the best law firms, and they were very happy. There were no victims. On the front page of the financial statements, there are a strong disclaimer clause telling all not to rely on these financial statements. The disclaimer clause tells anyone reviewing the data, including financial institutions, to do their own research and analysis. It is a non-reliance clause and could not be more clear. Additionally, to my being worth far more than shown in the fully disclaimed financial statement, again, not putting down the value for my biggest asset, brand, the company has hundreds of millions of dollars in cash and very little debt. It is a great company that has been slandered and maligned by this politically motivated witch hunt. It is very unfair, and I call for help from the highest courts in New York State or federal system to intercede. This is not America. He's got a point. He's got a point. And unlike the judge, it's not between his ears. So there you go. Did I have anything else on this? There's a left-wing place that says, Judge, this is the other thing. Judge gives Trump a corporate death penalty. This is from the left. This is a left-leaning publication. Let's just get this one for shits and giggles. Donald Trump is no longer in business. Hey, moron. he has more than just businesses in New York. The judge cannot close any of his businesses outside of New York. Shut the fuck up, you moron. Worse, the self-proclaimed billionaire may soon be personally bankrupt as a result, stripped of just about everything because for years he engaged in calculated bank fraud and insurance fraud by inflating the value of his properties, a judge ruled Tuesday. This guy's elated. His gaudy, this is an editorial. His gaudy Trump Tower apartment, his golf courses, his Boeing 757 jet, and even Mar-a-Lago could all be disposed of by a court-appointed monitor. No, they can't! This judge has no power outside of the state of New York, you fucking moron! Holy shit, what are you writing? Leaving Trump with not much more than his pension as a one-term president and a television performer. Yeah, you can't. The judge has no power over Mar-a-Lago. The judge has no power over the golf course in Scotland. The judge has no power of the Doral Resort in Florida. He owns multiple golf courses and properties around the world. The judge has no jurisdiction over any of his other properties. Sorry, moron. This is a Trump hater. A New York state judge, on Tuesday canceled all of the business license for the Trump organization. Wrong. And its 500 or so subsidiary companies and partnerships after finding Trump used them along with his older two sons to commit fraud. Again, the judge cannot cancel anything outside of the state of New York. This was a state case. God, what an idiot. Hello, Free Kitten. What's up? The civil fraud case was brought by Letitia James, the elected attorney general for the state of New York, who, by the way, campaigned on getting Trump. The evidence and issues were so clear-cut. Judge Aragon ruled on Tuesday that there was no reason to waste the court's time trying them. Really? I think there's a constitution that might say otherwise. In the 35-page decision, Judge Aragon also excoriated Trump and his lawyers for making nonsense arguments, so badly misquoting legal cases that they turned the law upside down. And other legal misconduct, the 5 Trump lawyers were each fined $7,500 for making frivolous arguments. A judge calling a lawyer's argument frivolous is the equivalent of saying that it is no better than nonsense from a drunk in a bar. I teach my Syracuse University College of Law students. Oh my God! You're a law professor too! Holy shit, are you stupid? I'm glad my kids didn't go to Syracuse Law School. Holy shit. This guy said that he could take all of Trump's businesses? Really? Oh, what jurisdiction does a New York judge have over a golf course in Scotland? Or even a golf course in Florida? None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Holy criminy. In 2015, Trump claimed his net worth was $10 billion. So? And when he became president, he asked if he could file his federally required fund. So? Doesn't matter. Doesn't apply to this case. News organizations, except for... but here's the funny one. News organizations, except DC Report, that's what this is, told their audience next to nothing about how from June 2015 to January 2017, Trump claimed his net worth fell by roughly 90%. And is there a reason for that? Was there a downturn in the economy, of real estate? Who knows? Trump will, of course, appeal. He's already suing the judge so far without success. I give chances of prevailing on appeal at someone between 0 and nothing, except perhaps some minor procedural point, which you can be sure Trump will describe as complete vindication. Whatever. Summary judgment decision Tuesday was partial. However, this guy, you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer. You idiot. There are more, but I'm trying to. Well, here's the New York Post. Now, this is interesting. Now, why would Mary Kay Jacob be saying this? Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate is worth at least $300 million, not $18 million, as the New York judge cites. Now, how did she come up with that? In a stunning verdict on Tuesday, Manhattan Supreme Court Justice Arthur Engoron, I'm going to say the name different every time because I don't know, delivered a bombshell ruling. We know that. Now, if his verdict holds, it holds Trump 77 along with his family and business empire, the Trump organization, liable for fraud, a central allegation in New York attorney Letitia James' expansive lawsuit against defendants. 35 blah blah blah. Here's the part where let's see. He claims such as his triplex penthouse at Trump Tower being 30,000 square feet when it was close to 11,000 feet were described by Erdogan as fraudulent, giving their significant discrepancy. It doesn't matter what he describes that. If he's not borrowing against it, it doesn't matter. And when he borrows against it, somebody comes in and does an appraisal. Okay, if you're borrowing money on anything, the business appraisals are like a fucking prostate exam. They are all up in there trying to get out every little tidbit and polyp to make sure that the shit is correct. That was quite an analogy, wasn't it? And so it doesn't matter what Trump says. Anyone lending money on anything that Trump owns has to value the property using their own private company and assessments, appraisers, and whatever. It doesn't matter what comes out of his mouth. And so, however, the ruling raised eyebrows when Justice Engoron, a Democrat who ran unopposed in the general election in November 2015, valued the worth of Trump's prize Mar-a-Lago resort at a mere $18 million, ruling that the property was inflated by 2,500%. He cited a basic Palm Beach assessor's valuation that ranged from $18 million to $28 million between 2011 and 2021, failing to take into consideration the fair market value. Evaluation is a far cry from Trump's 1985 purchase of $10 million, a meager $8 million less than what the judge declared it was worth it today. So he bought it in 85 for $10 million. All the judge would have to do is go, hey, that's a market value price. I wonder what the inflated price since 1985 would have been. I bought a house in Richfield, Minnesota for $67,000 in 1993. That property recently sold for $300,000. Do the math. That's just, come on. It's crazy. Put in perspective. A 2-acre wooded lot at 1980 South Ocean Boulevard, just 5 minutes away from Mar-a-Lago, is currently listed at an eye-popping $150 million. A 2-acre wooded lot for $150 million. Now, will it sell for that? Well, who knows? Who knows? Mar-a-Lago, situated at 1100 South Ocean Boulevard, dwarfs this lot tenfold and operates a commercial business with around 500 members as a part of a golf club. There's a golf course in Mar-a-Lago even. Just the golf course alone is worth more than $18 million. Also nearby, a 2.3-acre plot of land at 1063 Blood Ocean Boulevard on the market for a sky-high to $200 million. Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate boasts 20 acres. Forbes has appraised the property boasting 128 rooms at approximately $160 million in 2018 following extensive renovations and its exclusive Palm Beach location on Billionaires Row. The property includes a 20,000 square foot ballroom, 5 clay tennis courts, a sprawling waterfront pool. And in the 5 years since, Palm Beach properties have skyrocketed in value. $150 million 5 years ago. 200,000. This one's 150 million. 200,000. These are vacant lots. Vacant lot. Oceanfront property. Whew. So anyway, you're only here for the West Side Story snippets. I'm glad somebody recognized that. That's very good. That's very good. All right. Have we talked enough about Trump? Okay. The only other thing that I was going to talk about today until I found this ruling, because that blew me away, and also the Biden follies, obviously. But apparently there was some bad shit going on in Philadelphia yesterday. There was rioting, apparently in the name of racial justice, where they broke into some Lululemon, Apple stores, and other shit. because of a ruling on a police shooting. Now, this police shooting happened in Philadelphia. Eddie Azaria, or whatever, all charges dismissed against Philadelphia officer in fatal traffic stop shooting. Does a judge dismiss all charges, including murder account against Philadelphia police officer Mark Dial, who shot and killed the driver as he sat inside his vehicle last month. Philadelphia Municipal Judge Wendy Pugh made her ruling Tuesday after watching a video of the fatal shooting of a 27-year-old Eddie Arizari. The defense had asserted that Officer Mark Dial was acting in self-defense when he fired his weapon at close range through a rolled-up driver's side window of Arizari's sedan during a vehicle stop. Now, here's a thing here. Hello, Cannibalistic Wizard. Here's a thing here. Should the judge have dismissed the case or let it go to trial? That's probably the question here. The facts of the case are this guy was in his car, okay, traffic stop, and he had a knife with a black handle in his hand. And the officers asked him to get out of his car, right? Told him to get out of his car, which I'm not, these cases are very tough for me to assess. And he refused, and then they saw the knife, but it was you couldn't tell what it was, a black handled object in the man's hand. And was he trying to drive off? No. Here's what happened. So when the officer said they yelled knife, officer pulled his weapon, but he was still in the car. Again, the man was in the car. But he said, whatever that is, you need to drop it and put your hands up so we can see them. And when they said that, the man took out the knife and pointed it at the officer. Now, in that split second, was the officer to know that it was a knife or was it a gun or whatever? He didn't know what it was. They determined later that it wasn't a gun. It was a knife, and it's up in a rolled-up window. But the officer shot him when he whatever he had in his hand, he pointed at the officer, and the officer shot him. Now, should that go to a jury trial? Should if you're between you and the car, you don't know what it is. It's a night stop. But he ended up firing his weapon at close range through the rolled up driver's side window, and the man died. Now, the defense lawyer, Brian McMonigal, had urged Pugh to drop all the charges, which included manslaughter, official oppression, and 4 of the counts. I didn't know there was such a thing as official oppression. That's a count in a lawsuit. I don't know. The district attorney's office had said following the decision they would be appealing by the end of the day. A motion to reinstate the charges against Dial was filed on Tuesday. Dial's bail was revoked earlier this month after prosecutors argued charges made him ineligible for release. The body cam footage shows Dial firing his weapon at close range through the driver's side window of Arizari's sedan during a vehicle stop. Dial shot Arizari about 7 seconds after getting out of the police SUV and walking over to his car. The video showed he fired a total of 6 rounds. Dial's partner, Officer Michael Morris, who testified Tuesday that the pair had been following Arizari, who was driving erratically, turned the wrong way down a one-way street and stopped. Morrissey said Arizari had a knife in his hand and started to raise it as the officers approached. I screamed that he had a knife, said Morris, adding the knife had a black metal handle so that could have been mistaken for a gun. And so anyway, I don't know if the judge should have dismissed this case or not. You know what I mean? So anyway, I don't know. Handling a blackout. No, it wasn't Rachel Maddow's dildo. Anyway, it's probably a case that could go to trial. But and it brings up the constant question of, on a traffic stop, do you come armed? If it's an erratic place in a dark place and the guy ends up driving up the wrong street and finally stops, I don't know. It's hard to tell. But anyway, in Philadelphia, it turned into a riot, of course. So, widespread mass looting overnight in Philadelphia because of the judge's ruling on this. And this is opportunity. I always say there's three kinds of BLM protesters. If you tie it to BLM, there's people out there who out there to protest maybe an injustice. And even in this case, it's hard to decide if there's injustice. I don't know the case. I don't know if there's body cam footage. I don't know anything about it. But there's people who are there to protest, that are actually out there, just want someone to hear their voices. Okay. the second are people who are just opportunists. They want to get some free shit, and they see an opportunity to make this about them and just what they, saying, oh, well, this is a good time. We can get some free shit. And then there's other people who just want to break shit. Okay. Well, this is a story of the opportunists. There was mass looting reported all over Philadelphia. There are accounts of city center stores being cleaned out by looters, including Lululemon, the Apple Store, a Foot Locker near Libertyville, and many others. So, and a liquor store. So, when you go back to, remember Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, right? She is saying, that looters do this kind of stuff because they just maybe need some bread. Remember, she says that kind of stupid shit. Where's the link here? Where is she at? Here's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez talking about why people steal stuff after these riots or incidents, whatever.
And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe have to, they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night.
Yes. See, so the Lululemon store is where you can find bread, I guess. They sell leggings and workout equipment, of course, or maybe it's just yeast. Okay, don't take that joke any farther than I just did. Yeah, no, they're out there stealing phones. And then, but the other thing too is like, and I'm not going to go to the videos of the riots. I'm not going to play Outrage Machine, but there was video of the riots. So these people started stealing, they broke into an Apple store. They're starting to steal all the iPhones, right? And then someone in the crowd mentioned like, hey, these iPhones won't work. They are all tagged with a certain identification number or whatever, and you'll never use them. So then they just decided to start smashing them on the sidewalks because they knew they wouldn't be able to steal the iPhones and ever use them. So anyway, this is just some crazy shit that goes on. Also, speaking of riots, the January 6th riot, remember that? The insurrection. There's a story on this too in PJ Media. I have a few that I'm going to just give you some headlines and tell you what's going on. Uncanny. So the FBI apparently predicted the January 6th riots, the ones that they instigated. So, and this is one of those things. So they had all these informants, they had all these people, they knew what was going to go happen, and that they let it happen anyway. Quote, violent extremists, end quote, would be, quote, very willing to take action, end quote. On January 6th, the FBI correctly predicted 2 months before the riot, the Bureau helped to organize and instigate. It's funny how that works, isn't it? It's a predictably breathless report from NBC News, which I'll link here, examining an internal FBI analysis that determined the Stop the Steal protest would require, quote, law enforcement preemption, end quote, but that the disorganization of extremist groups would hinder widespread violence. Unless you know, the FBI stepped in and helped organize things a bit, which they did. So, Trump's infamous "Will Be Wild" tweet on December 19, 2020, inviting his supporters to Washington, both the committee and federal prosecutors say, was a call to action that caused disorganized extremists to zero in on a date and time, January 6th, in the nation's capital. The day Trump sent that tweet, as NBC News reported, a confidential human source told the FBI that the far right saw the tweet as a call to arms. And there was a big threat of violence on January 6th. Well, what did they do about it? They told the Capitol Police to stand down and didn't have any National Guard troops, right? Did they tell Nancy Pelosi, I bet they did not. Or maybe they did. Maybe they did. And she was hoping that they would do it so they could call it an insurrection. Now, Trump's infamous tweet was about as innocuous as it could be. The whole thing reads, quote, Peter Navarro releases a 36-page report alleging election fraud, more than sufficient to swing victory to Trump. A great report by Pete, statistically impossible to have lost the 2020 election. Big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there. Will be wild. Oh, that was the call to action? When a party invite says, be there, will be wild, guests know to expect loud music and strong drinks, not a riot. But just to be clear, there were two events on January 6th, one outside and one inside the Capitol. The outside event was the actual Stop the Steal protest, and it was entirely peaceful. Entirely peaceful. The indoor event was confused riot. By confused, I mean it had everything from peaceful weirdos like the Viking helmet guy, QAnon shaman Jacob Chansley, to the police killing of an unarmed protester, Ashley Babbitt, in cold blood. Even more confusing, while some rioters, the violent ones, could be seen breaking Capitol building windows, others were let in by police and allowed a lovely off-hours tour. Isn't that special? But back to that emphasized line from the NBC News report, it said that, quote, a confidential human source told the FBI that the far right saw the tweet as a call to arms and that there was a big threat of violence on January 6th. Now, the FBI mold told the FBI exactly what the FBI wanted to hear, justifying the FBI's involvement on January 6th. PJ Media's own Matt Margolis reported last week that there was a lingering question about the riot, there are lingering questions about the riot and how many FBI agents and informants were embedded amongst the demonstrators and what role they played instigating the violence. How many informers were involved, Matt asks. We still don't know exactly, as I quipped on Instapundit about Matt's story last week. The Capitol building riots look increasingly like an FBI sausage party. For those lucky enough to be uninitiated, a sausage party is a party or social event, dating app, etc., where women fail to show up, as in cocks. Then there's the riot organizer, Ray Epps, who many on the right believe to be an FBI informant. The left dismisses that notion as a conspiracy theory, yet Epps somehow given a slap on the wrist. He pled guilty last week to a single misdemeanor charge, while other receives harsh treatment while awaiting a trial and record-setting punishments after being found guilty. Remember when we learned about how the FBI fabricated out of whole cloth the extremist plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Grisham Whitmer? I'm sorry, Whitler? Hitler? The Whitmer case is more than just a high-profile embarrassment. It's a window in the FBI's decades-long strategy born of powers granted to fight the war on terror of pursuing criminal investigations against hypothetical criminals that may never be committed based on evidence that amounts to little more than a fringe political or ideological speech. So anyway, is any of this new to any of you? Have we been saying this for months and months and months and months and months? Holy shit. Also, oh yeah, here's the NBC News report. Let's take a couple laughs at this one. Before January 6th, the FBI predicted extremists would be very willing to take action over a 2020 election dispute. An FBI red cell report. A red cell report? Oh my! Predicted that law enforcement action and a lack of coordination between groups would prevent widespread violence in response to a disputed election. We're not reading this shit. You can read it later on your own. Let's go to legal insurrection. Here's one. This is frightening. Apparently there's a poll. Nearly half of Democrats believe free speech should only be legal under certain circumstances. A bare majority of Democrats, 53%, said free speech should be legal under any circumstance, while 47% say it should be legal only under certain circumstances. So 47% of Democrats believe speech should only be legal under certain circumstances. Almost half of Democrats believe free speech should be legal only under certain circumstances, according to new polling. This is not really surprising, as Democrats have been following the model of college progressives who believe that speech can be violence and shouting down speakers they don't like is acceptable behavior. See, they're violent shouting down at speakers using words, which is not violence, is not violence, but the people who have certain ideas and say things is violence. Tom Bevan, Rear Clear Politics, tweeted this. Stunning among the numbers among Democrats in the new poll on free speech and censorship. 47% of Democrats say free speech should be legal only under certain circumstances. 34% of Democrats say Americans have too much freedom. 75% of Democrats say, here, let's get the whole tweet here. Let's get the whole thing. 75% of Democrats say government has a responsibility to censor hateful social media posts. And only 31% strongly agree with the statement, I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death of your right to say it. That's where we're at right now. Carl Cannon writes, the concept of free speech dates to the 5th century BC in ancient Greece and was codified in America's founding documents on December 15th, 1791, with the ratification of the Bill of Rights. The 45-word First Amendment prohibited Congress from abridging freedom of speech or of the press and has long been understood to include any branch of government. A new poll on censorship by Real Clear Political Research shows that 90% of voters in the United States express support for the founders' curbs on government power. Overall, 9 in 10 voters in the U.S. think the First Amendment protections of freedom of speech is a good thing, while only 9% think it's a bad thing. Well, they're all Democrats, I guess, said the pollster. Asked whether they support free speech, even if it's deeply offensive, 78% of men answered affirmatively, compared to 66% of women. But the most glaring gap is between conservatives and liberals, between Republicans and Democrats. On the issue of free expression, at least Republicans are not the authoritarian party. That distinction belongs to the Democrats, the party launched by Thomas Jefferson, the founding father, who famously said that if he were forced to choose between a government without newspapers or newspapers without a government, I should not hesitate a moment to prefer the latter. Well, the newspapers without governments are ones that are trying to fuck with you right now. Then they showed the findings, which is whatever. Megyn Kelly's reaction was perfect. The New York Post reported on it. This is what we're up against. Yeah, exactly. Poll after poll shows that significant majorities of this is Glenn Greenwald. Poll after poll shows that significant majorities of Democrats or U.S. liberals strongly favor both corporate control and state control of political speech online, both in the name of stopping hate speech and disinformation, which the FBI and DHS will benevolently decide. So they just have a bunch of tweets of people bitching about it. But that is frightening, my friends. I would say that is a frightening statistic. Wow. All right. Let's finish up with a few leftover items here. Why is this not coming up? No such thing as too much freedom. Right. Exactly. Oh, why is Kevin, I'm seeing a lot of these Shark Tank people all the time that, they're always being asked their opinion. Now, I mean, granted, they're billionaires, but why do I care? Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary said Thursday that it's a bad strategy for President Joe Biden to tout his pro-union stance ahead of the 2024 presidential election. I guess. I mean, he goes into detail. I don't care. Thanks, Kevin O'Leary. I'll put the article if you want to read it, though. It's interesting. In the New York Post, FTC Chair Linda Kahn's mission to destroy Amazon will harm millions of consumers. Now, this is interesting. The FTC, Federal Trade Commission, is suing Amazon, I think, on some kind of, what do you call it? The Federal Trade Commission and 17 states have filed a high-profile antitrust lawsuit against Amazon that could force the major changes to the popular Prime service, which would be bad news for its 167 million American members. Now, I'm an Amazon Prime person. I love Amazon. I use it a lot, but I also shop locally too. I do a little bit of both. But when I need something that I can't find locally. For example, and we need to replace our pool pump. And none of the pool stores had them. I found one on Amazon for cheaper than both those places were selling. And then I had a pool guy come out and install it because I don't know how to do that shit. Or, when I need, like, my son asked for wants a special hat. It's on his birthday list. And I'm like, I couldn't find it anywhere locally. So I went on Amazon. I found the exact hat he wanted. And, so that's I'm using, and guess what? You know who made Amazon the monopoly that it is? It's not necessarily a monopoly. You can shop all over online. The federal government did. You motherfuckers are the ones who made it the most profitable company in the world because during the pandemic, that's the only place you could get stuff. Morons. Anyway, Tuesday's move is hardly surprising. After all, the FTC chair Linda Khan rose to prominence by calling for antitrust enforcement against Amazon when she was still a Yale University law student and has been a vocal critic of the company ever since. Unfortunately, the case is reminiscent of Captain Ahab's doomed pursuit of Moby Dick. He said dick. Dick! It is guided more by a desire than ideology than a reasonable assessment of the cost and benefits, which will be a wasteful battle, all but guaranteed to founder in court. The agency alleges the tech giant uses data from third-party retailers to bolster its own house brands, leverages its Amazon Prime service to undermine rivalry delivery networks, boost its own products relative to other products Amazon knows are of better quality, and penalizes retailers who charge lower prices on rival platforms. Okay, that's... Like, so when you go on Amazon and they have the Amazon's favorite, that's not their product always. When I buy electronics and they say, oh, this is their best seller or whatever. I sometimes buy it, sometimes I don't. Anyway, much as Khan's early academic work, the underlying theme is that Amazon should not favor its downstream services if doing so hurts rivals. The FTC seeks a permanent injunction to pry loose Amazon's monopolistic control to restore competition. Look, you know how many people shop on Sam's Club online or Costco online, or Sears still sells tools or some shit. Or people have choices. It's just Amazon has a wide array of stuff. I sometimes will buy stuff on samsclub.com instead of going on Amazon because maybe it has something that I want that I know I can get from Sam's Club. No one's forcing consumers to do anything. Only if Amazon bought every other company on the planet that sells shit online would this be a monopoly. It's not, but people like Amazon. They do a great service, and you don't have to buy from them if you don't like them. Fuck you, Linda Khan. Anyway, they're trying to fuck with Amazon. That's the point. And then the last one today, do not step away yet. Biden Forest Service hands out over $100 million to advance tree equity. Now, I haven't even read this. I have no idea what this is about. But as you know, if you watch this show long enough, if you hear the word equity, what do, class? I'm giving you time to type your answer. Okay, the word is run. Anyway, tree equity. What the fuck is tree equity? What the fuck is tree equity? The U.S. Forest Service is allocating more than $100 million for grants meant to achieve tree equity, according to the Daily Caller News Foundation analysis. Y'all are asking the same question I am. Tree equity, as in equity for trees. The Forest Service announced on September 14th that it had allocated over $1 billion towards expanding, quote, access, end quote, to trees, including 17 grant proposals that promote tree equity with a total of $101,096,371. Tree equity. Tree equity is a term first coined by American forest a conservation nonprofit that blames the lack of trees in minority neighborhoods on redlining and other discriminatory policies. Holy fuck. I can't believe I just read this. According to the organization's website, the lack of trees in minority neighborhoods. I guess people have never been to Minneapolis. Like North Minneapolis is a very tree-lined place. But what does the Forest Service argues on its website that planting trees will reduce crime and improve health outcomes. The grants are funded through the Inflation Reduction Act. Of course, $100 million in the Inflation Reduction Act to have tree equity. While trees cover nearly half of Atlanta, the most coverage in the nation, according to Trees Atlanta, the Forest Service approved a grant to the city for $10 million to address issues related to tree equity and develop a sustainable, buzzword, diverse, nature-based workforce. Similarly, San Francisco had 14,543 trees per square mile as of 2021, and the Forest Service allocated $14 million to plant more trees this year, according to the Daily Caller. So basically, there may be less trees in urban areas, so they're going to spend $101 million for tree equity. The push to achieve tree equity was part of a broader initiative undertaken by the Forest Service involving more than $1 billion spread over 385 grants intended to make America greener, according to a Forest Service press release. Every dollar of funding allocated for this initiative is set to flow into disadvantaged communities. A grant to the Oregon Department of Forestry worth $22 million. $22 million. One of the biggest individual grants approved by the Forest Service promises to use indigenous ecological knowledge to train people in planting, maintaining, and monitoring trees. Another grant to the E-Bill Society for $740,000 will also use indigenous ecological knowledge to teach people about trees. Aurora, Colorado's Department of Parks and Recreation and Open Space received $5 million to plant trees in neighborhoods with high immigrant and refugee populations. Whoa! In order to prioritize equity, social justice, and sustainable urban forest management. Okay. And it gives more examples. Okay, here's a question for class. Class? How much of this money is just being siphoned off? How much... and why is the federal government doing this? Why does it take a grant to plant some trees in your city? Your city can't plant trees? This is insane. And this is how our nation spends money. This is how our nation spends money. Borrowed money, printed money from the urban reduction. What is it? What do they call it? The Inflation Reduction Act. This is Inflation Reduction Act money. The Inflation Reduction Act. How is planting trees in urban neighborhoods reducing inflation? It's not. This is insane. These people are insane. Holy shit. And that's how we're going to end it today. Because these motherfuckers are going to stay. Thank you, Man Squatch, for tweeting out the show. Appreciate it. All of you who shared the stream today. A lot of people hitting the like button on those posts. So just a reminder, before you click away, share the stream. Even now, share the stream. If you have a favorite part of the stream and you're on YouTube, hit the share arrow, put the marker, whatever, the stream to your favorite part, and click the little checkbox, and it'll start the stream right there. And maybe someone will be interested in that part of the stream. And then they may go back and see the rest, or they may come join us on our Monday or our weekly morning news hour and a half or more. So anyway, and also thanks for the people sponsor the show: Rachel Maddows, Dildo, Jimmy Das Hotep, and was Tires today, or is that from yesterday? That was yesterday. Well, here's another one. Thank you, Furry Kitten, dropping a big bullet in the tip jar just in time, saying, so they want blacks, Latinos, and immigrants to do gardening in the name of racial equity. Wow. Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
That's absolutely right. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Greatly appreciated. So if you want to sponsor the show, you know how. There's several ways. They're on the description, or you can figure it out during the show. And hit the like button, but most importantly, share the stream. I'll be back this evening. Remember the AAA podcast, whatever they call it. I will be hosting it on my channel today. So if you're tell any Sinatra fans or Drunken Uncle fans that'll happen tonight, I will send them the link to that. And so I'm looking forward to that. I had a blast on Monday. That was a lot of fun. So we'll do that, and then I'll be back to my normal times, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern. Roughly, not exactly, around 10 o'clock Eastern. Around. When I go back to work, it'll be closer to 10 on a regular basis because I have time constraints between my two jobs, but around that time. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. Gotta go. You are greatly appreciated, and you are all great Americans, except for the ones who aren't Americans. You are just great. So, adios. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.